Welcome to Retirement Ramblings. I'm Scott, and today is day 305 on my countdown to retirement. So today I got up, I cooked some sausage for breakfast, and then I quickly butchered and vacuum sealed some pork loin chops. Because as I indicated yesterday, my plan for the day was to work on my 2024 tax return. So that's what I did. I pretty much started working on that I'll say no later than 10:30 or 11 o'clock this morning, and pretty much worked on it all day until just a little while ago. And so I was happy with the end results. I didn't end up owing any additional money beyond what I've already paid in taxes or my wife's paid in taxes. So that was a good outcome for us. I didn't want to have to write a check to the government. So that's good. Some of the things that I learned this year that I didn't know, and most of these actually relate to state taxes, but the primary one for the federal taxes that I learned was that my wife, who worked part-time during the year up until April of last year, and earned less than the $8,000 allowance that you can contribute to a 2024 Roth IRA, is still allowed to contribute the full amount because between her earned income and the interest and dividends that she got on investments, they exceed the $8,000. And so we had to pay tax on all that money. And so she's allowed to then take and make the full $8,000 contribution into the Roth IRA. So she was super excited about that because she thought she was going to have to do a subset contribution this year versus the full amount. And we always try and max out a Roth contribution each year when we do our taxes. So that was a huge positive for us. And then for Georgia, what I learned this year was one, the Georgia standard deduction is $24,000 for married couples filing jointly. So that's good. Georgia does not tax Social Security income, which again, didn't know that. And then what I did know a part of, but not the entire thing, was Georgia doesn't tax, and I don't think any state does, but I could be wrong on this. Georgia doesn't tax interest income from U.S. Treasury bonds, or I should say Treasury bills, notes, or bonds. Nor do they tax any munis that are bonds associated with projects that are done in Georgia. And they also don't, and this was the thing that I didn't know either, they don't tax ETF or mutual funds that hold exclusively treasuries as part of their portfolio allocation. So something like SPACs on Fidelity, I think that's right. Yeah, on Fidelity, and SNSXX, which is the Schwab equivalent of SPACs. The interest that you earn there isn't taxed in Georgia, so that's awesome. And then the thing that was the most interesting to me, and took me a little bit of time to have to go back and research through all the different paperwork, was that if you're 62 to 64 years of age, your tax, or you have a different exclusion amount on the amount of money that goes untaxed for interest and dividend income versus somebody who's 65 or older. So in Georgia, the first $35,000 of interest or dividends for a person 62 to 65 is excluded. So there's a $35,000 deduction. But for people over 65, 65 or over, that number goes from 35,000 up to 65,000. So Georgia definitely skews towards, being beneficial for people who primarily are living off of their investments. So that was great to learn because I didn't know that. So anyway, spent the time, got everything entered. Then I printed out the full worksheet complement of forms, sat down with my wife, reviewed all the numbers, made sure that both of us were in agreement that all the numbers that were in there were correct. Then we submitted electronically the federal and state returns, and the federal return was submitted and accepted with a confirmation back from the federal government in under 10 minutes, which was freaking awesome. The state one was submitted and can take up to 3 days to process and get back to you with a confirmation. So that's fine. But once I received that confirmation, effectively my 2024 tax returns are complete.
That was easy.
So that's my update for today. If you have any questions, any comments, please leave them in the comments section down below, or drop me an email at myretirementramblings@gmail.com. Otherwise, have a great evening. Until tomorrow, take care.